Thank you so much, Carly, for gifting the One Guilty of Crime membership. You guys get it. Yeah, this is a lot of innocent children suffered and died this year. Maddie had been suffering for years. Sue, you're amazing. Thank you so much for gifting the 5 Guilty of Crime memberships. Get your membership, y'all. Thank you.
Her work, and she'll be like, oh, okay, and then see something completely get sidetracked and then forget. And they're always on top of her. Okay. But yeah, she's just, I forgot where I was going with this. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Her grades
Squirrel.
and attendance.
Oh, yeah. Her grades suffer because of her ADHD for sure. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons she got an IEP is because she's technically 2 years behind. Yep. With her reading level.
So, Jen, why didn't you help her? You're her mother. Why didn't you help her with her reading? Or did you put that off to Stephen Stearns?
Okay. What grade is she in?
7th.
Okay. And I know we talked last night too, and I just kind of want to reiterate, has she had any changes in her behavior in the past few years?
I'll say yes. But it was all around where puberty hit, and like the typical teenage, the attitude, the sass, the talking back, the disrespect, the pushing boundaries.
Do you guys hear that? I know you hear the same thing I'm hearing. She really doesn't seem to like Maddie that much, and she picks up on that, but she's not picking up on the abuse, her body changing, signs to her body, her clothing. Yeah. Yes, you all, we're hearing this together.
She was very much doing that, but that calmed down over the last few months. It got even better when Stefan moved out and went to Northport. Maddie and I were actually seeing a therapist together to try to like work through our issues because we were having problems communicating. So, yeah.
So, Stefan, tell me about his. I know you say he likes to play board games and all that stuff. Is he like? What else does he like to do for fun?
He's a collector. He collects.
Play sports or anything like that?
No, he collects.
Some people were wondering what the black marks were. I want you to know that was them dusting for fingerprints. All right, let me hit that play. I'm going to be right back.
Games and hobbies. He collects, you know what Tamagotchis are? He collects Tamagotchis. He's got so many of those. Digimons, lightsabers.
Does he like to go camping? Does he like to go to the beach or any of that stuff?
No, the beach makes him self-conscious because he doesn't like how his body looks. He calls himself flabby. But no, he's not an outdoorsy person. He doesn't play sports. He doesn't like the beach. Okay, he used to. Okay, this may be irrelevant. Back a few years ago, I used to own a scooter, an electric scooter, and he owned something called the One Wheel, which is like kind of like a scooter, but with one big round wheel in the middle. We would take that and ride around. The Kissimmee Trail connects back here, so we'd take that to the Kissimmee Bridge. Do that trail over there, come back, or also go into Shingle Creek, cross the street, across Hoagland, go behind an apartment complex, and we end up in Shingle Creek. We would ride all of that and explore all of that wetlands and greenery back there. But we haven't done that in a while. We haven't owned scooters or electronic devices in a few years.
Tell me about. You said there was an apartment in Northport.
Yeah.
Is that
Maybe.
Stefan's mom's and dad's, or you guys had a separate apartment?
We rented our own separate apartment.
Okay, where was that?
All right, he's trying to figure out where they've lived before and what area Stefan Stearns knows and doesn't know. He really does want to find Maddie's body, and that's what he thinks at this point. I want you to know that Jennifer Soto lived that way in St. Cloud before this apartment or condo. CBC, thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. Jennifer Soto says sleeping with Stefan Stearns wasn't that many times. She may not have known how many pictures there are. Her lying will be provable. Just saying. I agree so many times, and I really do hope that they're still looking for something to tie her to this crime.
Obviously Northport, but do you remember the complex name?
Let me see.
And how long ago was that?
This was back in 2020.
Okay.
I don't remember the month we moved in, but we moved out in November of 2020. We were there somewhere between 6 to 8 months.
Okay.
Let me see if I have there.
Was it just you three there?
Yes, it was just the three of us.
Okay.
Wow.
Is Northport? I've never been there. Is it a big city, small city?
Oh, I'm sorry. So the apartment we used to live in is in the town next door over. It's called Port Charlotte, Florida.
What do you guys think was going on when just the three of them lived together? I wonder what. No, there was no boundaries. Nobody to stop what was happening.
Okay.
That's a small town. Northport, even smaller, I would say. But Northport being more popular because it's attached to Sarasota County, so it has more people living in it. Charlotte County is pretty small.
Is it rural?
I mean, there was a city center, and there was a Tamiami Trail ran through it.
Okay.
So major road, lots of businesses, lots of shops. So no, it's out in the middle of nowhere. But
fun fact is, Northport is the third largest city in the state of Florida, square miles wise.
Yeah. The name of the apartment complex I used to live in is called Charleston K.
Does it still exist today? Is that still what it's called?
Trying to find out where Maddie's body may be. Thank you, Moore, for gifting the Guilty of Crime membership, as well as Graciela Gonzalez. You guys make sure you have your membership gifting on, or your notifications, whatever you call that, so that you can receive a membership. And this is nauseating, but it's very necessary to see how the officers question her. He's trying to trip her up. It's very interesting that he says, fun fact. And she's like, huh? What?
I'm not sure. I can Google.
Thank you.
And you don't know him to still own it or rent it?
No, because it was under my name. The apartment
was under your name.
Yeah, and I'm the one who gave up the lease.
Okay.
As
Why?
far as I know, it still exists.
Oh, Charleston K like that. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
And you guys, so you were in that apartment for roughly 6 to 8 months, you said, right?
Yes.
Did you live in Port Charlotte or Northport for longer?
No, we immediately only that time we moved right back.
Okay. And what would you guys typically do around there?
We did absolutely nothing. It was during quarantine time, so we were very afraid of COVID, very afraid of going to the store and doing anything. We stayed home, watched movies, watched a lot of Netflix, played a lot of board games.
Okay.
But that was about it. We didn't. Sometimes we'd go to the beach, Venice Beach.
Yep.
But that's about it. We didn't really go anywhere.
Not much stuff outdoors during that time frame?
No, just Venice Beach.
Okay.
I think this is around the time where Maddie started getting assaulted on camera, on video, where they actually have, sorry about that, where they have the, we'll say, the video to back it up. She is snitching on herself. The officers gathering everything that they could. Good one, Richard. Snort, Ritalin, hang in bed with all three of them. Yeah, I think there was more going on, folks. I hate to say that.
When did you realize that he went to Northport recently?
When one of the officers told me.
Okay, so what night was that?
Last night.
So they told you last night, or he went last night?
They told me last night that he had went earlier that morning to Northport in my car.
Okay. Were you guys staying at the hotel together?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you not notice him gone? Did you sleep through it?
I slept through it. I went to sleep around 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
And I did not wake up until 9. And that's when I noticed he was gone. And I called Stefan's dad, Chris, who was in the same hotel. I said, "Hey, is Stefan with you?" He goes, "No, he's not with you." And I'm like, "No, he must have left and my car keys are gone." He's like,
I do think Marilyn McRae, it was a bit darker than we know, and it may come out if Stefan decides to get himself off of death row, which he's not on, but I have a feeling they're going to go for the death penalty. If he does talk and implicate her and he can prove it, I think he'll get off of that. Thank you, JoJo, for gifting a membership to Guilty of Crime.
"Oh." I'm just like, maybe he ran out to get some food, or maybe he ran out to get something, or to Target. And he's like, "Okay, we'll just give him a little bit to wait."
Why didn't you call him directly?
Stefan?
You have a phone?
I don't think he had a phone.
Okay.
And I think his dad eventually did give him a phone for him to use, but that was later that morning, and I was never given that phone number either, so I never had a way to contact him.
Okay. Why do you think he would
Plunder,
go there?
true crime audio.
I was told he went into a storage unit. I have no freaking clue what he would be getting in a storage unit or hiding.
Do you know about the storage unit?
I have.
Of course, she doesn't have any clue. She doesn't know anything about Stefan Stearns. And yes, I wanted to bring to your attention, go subscribe after this to Plunder True Crime's Patreon. That's where many of us get our video, audio, etc. She puts all of it out. So thank you. Go support her channel.
I have heard of the storage unit.